Hi, this is Victor Antonio with another Sales Influence Moment. Today I want to talk about the book, Switch. The book was written by Chip Heath and Dan Heath, brothers, and it talks about change, how to change things when change is hard. Now this has a lot to do with influence and motivation and persuasion, and they use an interesting model. A psychologist by the name of John Haidt wrote a book called The Happiness Hypothesis, where they talk about something called the writer and the elephant. But in the book Switch, these two guys really expand on what they mean by the writer and the elephant, which I'm about to explain right now. This is a great book. I hope you'll pick it up. Let me explain to you a little bit what's in the book and maybe tease you a little bit, and maybe you go out and get a copy because I think it's worth the price, if not more. What they talk about in the book is that there's three aspects to motivating people to do something. First, you have to direct the writer. Now, direct the writer, I think of the writer as somebody who is rational, the analytic, the person who thinks about things, analyzes everything, but winds up doing not much. Then they say we have to motivate the elephant. What does motivate the elephant mean? That sometimes logically we know what we need to do, but emotionally we're just not engaged and we just don't have that, that energy to do it. Last but not least is shape the path. How do we make it easier? So let me bring all three together. I want you to visualize an elephant, and on top of the elephant there sits a rider. Now the rider is the reasonable, the left brain, the rational person, where the elephant is the emotional. Now if the elephant gets emotional, right, and wants to do something, well, guess what? The elephant's going to go all over the place, but if the rider's not guiding it, then there's no direction. And this happens to a lot of us. You ever get emotional about something and start working on different things? Well, that means your elephant's out of control and the rider's not guiding it. Flip it around. Now what happens if the rider wants to do something, but the elephant's not motivated? You ever think about something you want to do and, man, that would be a great idea, but your heart's just not in it? That means that the rider is engaged, but the elephant is not motivated to do something. Then sometimes rationally, you say, this makes sense. And from the heart, you say, man, we need to do this. But this is where shape the path comes in. You need to clarify how to do it. If you don't have a game plan, a blueprint, you won't know how to do it. Now let's flip this around. How do you motivate your employees? First of all, you got to get them engaged rationally. This makes sense. Then you got to get them to say, yeah, this is something we have to do from the heart. We got to motivate the elephant. We really have to do this. But then as the leader, it's your job to shape the path. What are we going to do? What are the steps that we're going to do? And how is this going to work out? In selling, it's no different. The customer rationally says, that's a great idea, but they're not mostly engaged. Get them emotional, says, we need to do this, but then they're still confused, like, well, how do we do it? This is where you shape the path. Here's what we're going to do, Mr. Customer. We're going to do A, B, C, and then we're going to do this and this and this, and this is exactly how we're going to get to where you want to go. Are you starting to understand? Now, I don't do the book justice. Read the book Switch. I highly recommend it. Worth the money. This is Victor Antonio with another Sales Influence Moment reminding you, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care.